Welcome to the 10th Virtual UNISEC Global Meeting, which we do once a month. It will last from 10 p.m. until 12 o'clock midnight. I hope you have the program for tonight in front of you. Very quickly, first 10 minutes will be opening remarks by Professor Mengo Cho, and then Dr. Quentin Vesperian of the University of Tokyo will talk about Space Agency education rating for 10 or 15 minutes, followed by a breakout session. And then we'll have an activity report from UNISEC Egypt and from UNISEC Mongolia. And at the end, we'll have closing comments by Rei Kawashima. So without further ado, I turn the floor over to Professor Cho.
Yes, thank you very much for introductions. So now I'd like to start my 10 minutes presentations. Usually Professor Nakasuka gives this 10 minutes openings, but he ran out of topics, so I was asked by Ray to give this talk. Yes. So today's talk is titled Role of Space Agencies. I thought this may be a good topic because today we are going to talk about space agency educations. Yes. So, by the way, my name is Mengo Cho from Kyushu Institute of Technology, Japan. Yes. So this is the view of space agency roles in matured space ecosystems. We have space agencies in the centers. We have academia sectors, and we have private industry sectors. And the space agency, of course, gets money from government, and government has to ask the parliament to get approvals. And government has to do the service to the taxpayers, and taxpayer or society will make a demand. And that demands needs will be transformed to space plan by some kind of coordinating body, which collects all of the requests from different stakeholders in the country. And the space agency, basically space agency does the implements that plans. And at the same time, they have the infrastructure and the strategic R&D. And they order flight segment, ground segment, and also they promote the service segment. And there are customers who pays to the service segment. This is just private businesses, and this is government public services. And academia and private industry are connected. At the same time, academia and the agencies are also related by human resources, also some support, and fundings and science returns. Yes. So this is matured. If it becomes very matured, however, then we have more interactions between these private industries and customers, and also very the good collaboration between academia and industry. So government still exists. However, they play very smaller role. I don't think none of the space agencies in the world, even the US, is approaching to this stage yet. But because of the new space, I think we are rapidly moving to this state. However, this is a case of matured or very matured case. But however, when it is very infant, when the space sectors are just born, you have nothing. Well, we have government, we have parliament, we have taxpayers, we have some coordinating body and agency. But the agency has to do everything, basically. From business development, operations of real satellite, and also distribution of data. Engineering, they have to build their own satellite, and science and human resource development, public relations, international relations. So basically, space agency has to do everything. So that's what they have to do. So in summary, very matured space ecosystems. Space is not that special anymore. Space is a kind of infrastructures or platforms to do broad service to the peoples. It's very similar to the telecommunications or highways or others, where you can still make money. Yes, and however, it's a really infrastructures. And that will bring benefits to various sectors. So space isn't special anymore. And the role of government at this stage is they formulate requirements, order, supervise space-based service that should be done by the government, because there are still some area needs to be done by the government, such as defense, of course, disaster management or others. Also, strategic investment for futures, maybe longer than 10 years, is the role of the government. And they do R&D, and they support higher education at the university for future human resources. I think that's the subject of today. And they have to, the past government should maintain service massive infrastructures, such as launch site or the testing infrastructures or those things. The promotion of private industries and the relationship with foreign government and the regulation and the coordination to ensure fair competitions and to ensure benefit goes to wide access. So like, the space agency at this stage is kind of a restaurant madam. The role of restaurant madams is to make everybody happy and things just rolling. And so these people's private sectors and academias and all of stakeholders get happy and they mind their own space business, and agency just make sure that everybody is happy and do their own business. So at the very infant space ecosystem, however, space is very special. And at this stage, benefit of space activity is not yet clear to taxpayers and the general public. I often hear that why this country needs a satellite. When we are building a first satellite of a country through the budget programs, I often hear that why this country needs a satellite. And the space agency must do everything. So at this, in this case, role of government is basically everything. Human resource development, for that one, they have to collaborate with universities. As universities may not have the adequate space programs to develop human resources. And industry promotions, they have to build a private industry basis so that the government can order the flight product or data service in futures, so that they don't have to rely on, they don't have to build by themselves or they don't have to buy from abroad. And research promotions and infrastructure buildings, which something can be used up to near or middle futures. They don't have to make a very gigantic infrastructures. Right? Many countries make mistakes by building very big infrastructure at first, but it can be small, but it should be usable up to middle futures. And maybe drafting space policies or plans and implementing the plans, and also outreach, because this benefit of space activity is not clear to everybody, so they have to gain the people support. But they really have to work on this human resource development. So I think this is a subject of today. So this is my personal view, and these are restaurant madams. I was once told by the 25 years ago when I went to the Tsukuba at the NASDA, National Space, Japanese Space Agency, for some kind of job interview. And I was told the role of the NASDA is a restaurant madams. We have to make everybody happy. And I was asked, can you do this? Of course, it was a job interview, so I said yes, but I'm not sure whether I can do. So anyway, if you want to work in agencies, please keep this in mind. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Professor Cho, thank you very much for this enlightening presentation about your view on space agency roles. So we proceed now to the presentation by Quentin. Are you ready, Quentin?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen right now. Okay.
Can you say a few words about who you are?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, Ray and George, for inviting me to make this presentation about space agency's contribution to education. My name is Quentin Verspiren. I am a space policy researcher at the Science, Technology and Innovation Governance program at the University of Tokyo. I have both an engineering and public policy training. The reason why today we are talking about the role of space agency in education is basically that I think it was around 2 months ago, I received a message from Rei Kawashima asking me to discuss about an idea that she got, which was basically to try to find a way, a serious way, to acknowledge the contribution of space agency in education. And acknowledge not just to please these agencies, but to first make people aware of all the opportunities that could be provided by agencies. And also by putting these initiatives under the spotlight, trying to build some kind of emulation or healthy competition among agencies and kind of motivate them to involve more in education. Because as we will see, and as Professor Cho explained, there are many different activities that agencies can do. And education is often a small part. And so we will see here, and we'll discuss later in this meeting of UNISEC, what we can do to put this under the spotlight and try to push agencies to do more. So the complexity when dealing with a topic like space education, which is part of my activities at the University of Tokyo, is that it's multifaceted. There are many, many forms of space education, and it's a multi-actor field. Of course, there are universities, there are research centers, schools, space agencies, and figuring out which one is supposed to do what's the main responsibility, what's the different benefits or one over the other is fairly complex. And as I said, among these many actors, space agencies are interesting, although their role in education is still modest. And our goal here is to acknowledge, praise, and push them to do more. And so UNISEC is in the process of thinking of different steps for this project. And as a first step that we'd like to discuss today would be more on the recognition part. So thinking about making maybe some kind of compendium of opportunities provided by agencies for education and starting some form of emulation with targeted awards that hopefully, if this gets enough attention, agencies could think about and try to get the award the following year. And the point of today's meeting is really to reach out to the UNISEC community, see if it makes sense, see if you think it's interesting, it's useful, based on the different type of role that the agencies plays in different countries that you all represent. And that's what we will have in the breakout session moderated by my colleague, Nate. So starting with the first complexity, there are many types of space education, and we have to be clear about what we talk about. It could be a basic form of, I would say, initiation to space activity, mostly to create some kind of motivation in young people to pursue a career in space. So for middle, high school, primary school, it could be a level higher, introduction to some kind of basic embedded system with CanSat, could be even a bit higher with Heptasat, could be the development of actual systems that would go to space, like CubeSats or higher forms of small satellites. Could be about space utilization, not only development, could be about non-engineering space education, space law, policy, and strategy that is often a point that is not emphasized in capacity building program, even though you may have all the best brains and the best technology. If you don't have a coherent governmental strategy, your program will not go really far. So it's important to include all aspects of education. And the other complexity of addressing the role of different organizations in education is that there are many actors. Schools, universities, research center, international organizations sponsoring some capacity building programs, and space agencies. And all have their strengths, their weaknesses. And we decided for this specific study to look at these actors that are always on the front scene. We always hear about NASA, JAXA. They are the visible actors in the space sector. And they're making amazing missions, developing satellites. And so they have a huge knowledge. But to what extent they use this knowledge to education is something that varies from one case to the other. And what UNISEC wants to do, and the University of Tokyo as partner on this specific project, is to fulfill the goal of UNISEC, which is to promote space education worldwide. And so we try through this study to push all type of actors to do more education, and for this specific time, space agencies. And so Professor Cho, I think, presentation was really useful into showing the two extreme cases of what agencies can do, from, of course, emerging countries where they have to do everything and their role for education is crucial, because in most countries starting a space program, universities don't have any capabilities related to space. So the space agency has the budget and the staff and the government mandate even to do that, while in more advanced countries, let's say if we talk about Japan, JAXA does some form of space education, but it's really minor, and it's rightfully so, in the sense that there are plenty of universities that can already do the job properly. But still, maybe JAXA has some specific things that they can do that can be useful and that universities cannot do. Typically, the KiboQ program, so we can debate whether it's an educational program or not, but it's about supporting a country having its first 1U satellite, not only by deploying, but by providing some guidance and advice and help in the various technical reviews. So it's some form of education that a university cannot do, because a university cannot in the end deploy your satellite. That's the kind of thing an agency can do. And also, no university has the platform that JAXA has with the APRSAF, so Asia Pacific Regional Space Agency Forum, that is the biggest regional meeting related to space. Other agencies like the French space agency CNES has ambitious programs for education. The Nanolab Academy, supporting the development of CubeSat in various French universities, or the Perseus program to develop a small launcher, also in partnership with various universities. But often these opportunities are known by a few people in each country. And so one first easy step that can be implemented at UNISEC is to make these opportunities visible to everyone, so that people who could benefit from it won't just ignore them and pass, basically. So the proposal, and we may come back in the following months with different layers of this project, but the first layer would be to start with this compendium of available opportunities and giving it, I would say, a competitive flavor by providing some awards. And one part of the discussion that we'll have in the breakout room will be about what type of award, based on the form of education, the level, the field. There could be an award for agencies supporting UNISEC activities to also promote the fact to help UNISEC and great UNISEC activities. But again, I want to emphasize that the idea is not to point out the bad actors, but to really acknowledge the best practices so that they can be replicated by other agencies around the world. And so it will be also not only about saying this is a good practice, but this is a good practice because it has this impact, and in turn, it could help the image of the agency, it could help the agency have a better, let's say, domestic network from which to recruit future employees, etc., etc. There are a lot of benefit for agencies to have better educated kids in the country. And so for now, so it will be a UNISEC global program, and the first, I would say, research partner is the University of Tokyo. There are numerous issues to clarify. I already mentioned some of them. First of all, I try to justify why we focus on space agencies, but that's still something that could be debated. So we can discuss that in the breakout room session. I already mentioned what to include in the compendium. Research partners are something I would say is the first priority for this project, because it's important that it is seen as a really global initiative. That's why it's UNISEC Global, not UNISEC Japan leading this. But UNISEC still is an organization in Japan working on this with the University of Tokyo. So it would be nice if we could have partners on all continents, I would say. Not only to have different point of views, but also because when we'll start to gather the data on what different agencies are doing, we'll need people and their network in different regions of the world speaking different languages, because all available opportunities are not necessarily in English or French, that is the other language that I speak. And we'll also need to figure out the process and the timeline. So for this year, our idea that again can be criticized, and please do, would be to have some kind of pilot program, starting by, as I said, calling for research partners, then setting up the methodology, and starting to test our approach and methodology with specific space agencies that would agree to work with us on developing that. And that would provide, help us to gather data about what activities they have. And I don't see why they would refuse to do so, in the sense that we want to show what they're doing and the good things they're doing. So we really hope that thanks to this international network, we'll reach out to many agencies and have their help in gathering the data. And our kind of goal for now would be to announce the result of the pilot phase at the Asia Pacific Regional Space Agency Forum in early December in Vietnam. And it will be a hybrid conference, so everyone will be able to follow it. And from 2022 onwards, if the results are satisfying in December, having the real implementation phase of the project, not the pilot phase, and trying to have an annual output and increasing the range every year. So that's it for me. I voluntarily made this presentation short so we can have time in the breakout room. So I think now I will leave the floor to George and Nate to organize the breakouts. Thank you very much.
Quentin, thank you for the fine presentation.
Hello everyone, this is Professor Ayman Qasim from Aerospace Engineering Department, Cairo University. Today I will talk to you about UNISEC Egypt activities during COVID-19 pandemic. The outline of today's talk, I'll start with the history of UNISEC Egypt. Then I talk about UNISEC Egypt activities 2020-2021. I finish with our future plans. In 2011, we established a space-dedicated lab, which we called SST Lab, or Space Science and Technology Lab. It is now the host of all UNISEC Egypt activities. UNISEC Egypt was established in 2014. Here is a picture of the lab and the aerospace engineering building. CANSAT training is the main activity of UNISEC Egypt. We believe it is the best start for fresh students. We have accomplished 12 training programs since 2011 with 300 plus students. The students experiment with CANSAT structure from real cans to wood to 3D printing. Here are some pictures and a video from training sessions, flying tests, and graduation ceremonies. CANSAT training program is open to engineering students from all Egyptian universities. We have another training program, the Space Rover program, where students learn how to build a rover and experiment with different sensors. It was initially established to share in ARLIS competition. The rover program complements the CANSAT program and adds more experience to aerospace students. They can experiment with size of the rover from small one used in ARLIS to much larger ones. They also experiment with wheels and tracks. They work on network and formation, how to connect more than one rover. Here, example of 3 rovers making a triangle. They work on simultaneous localization and mapping, where a rover can know its location and build a map of the surrounding using advanced image processing techniques.
We have done 4 iterations working on different subsystems for CubeSats like EBS, communication, structure, command and data handling, and ADC. We have been working on different multicopters, quadcopters, and octocopters, basically to use it for launching and testing CANSAT.
Due to COVID-19 pandemic, most of our lab activities were put on hold for some time. We have to restructure our activities to move what we can online. So we have a fully online programs like the online CANSAT training program and online STEM training program for young students. We have partially online program like the CubeSat iteration 5 and the Space Rover. In this partially online program, we did the online meetings and we developed the software and the training online, but the hardware has to be in the lab.
Our senior students did a great job making 30 videos, 18 hours of training material covering all the required material for CANSAT and covering all the design software like SolidWorks, Arduino, MATLAB, Ultima, LabVIEW. We built a YouTube channel and we have 270 students registered and 70 of them actually finished the training. The success of online CANSAT training program encouraged us to talk to young students online, so we built another online program for kids, teaching them the basics of aerospace engineering. We can't move everything online, so we had to take precautions and work on our aim of having a university CubeSat. Although we work slowly, but we almost finished 3 subsystems, the payload, the structure, and the computer. We still need 2 more iterations We're still working on the attitude dynamics and control and the communication system and on the integration. We hope we finished and launch in 2024.
Our Space Rover team has worked through the academic year 2021 on modeling, design, and fabrication of the third iteration of the Space Rover for autonomous exploration. We improved the SLAM, the object recognition, and we added a robotic arm. This video shows the test of the rover. Here we can see we're trying to simulate uneven surface to test the wheels. This project is funded by Boeing. Here we test the robotic arm. And here we test object recognition. Put a bottle in front of the camera and it can recognize the bottle and the distance to the camera.
Our future plan will continue CANSAT and rover education for students. We'll start our 6th iteration of CubeSat design, hoping it will be the final iteration. Cooperate with the Egyptian Space Agency and the newly established African Space Agency. Upgrade our space systems and technology lab with support from Cairo University, Egypt Space Agency, and Boeing. And hopefully we'll launch CairoSat first universe satellite in Egypt. The estimated time is 2024. Thank you.
All right, Professor Qassem, thank you for the updates from Egypt. I turn the floor over now to Engi of Mongolia. She holds a PhD degree in remote sensing from Ghent University in Belgium. Engi, are you ready?
Yes, thank you, Professor Maidison. I will share my screen. Can you see?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hello everyone.
How do you pronounce your name?
Inchtergal.
Okay.
Inchtergal. Okay, hello everyone. So can I start now?
Yes, please start.
Okay, thank you so much. So it's a great opportunity to connect the UNISEC global members for all over the world. So my name is Inchtergal Natsagdorch. I'm a researcher at the Space Science and Remote Sensing Laboratory at the National University of Mongolia. So today I will present about Mongolian space science and engineering activities, which belongs to UNISEC Mongolia's local chapters. So I will talk, I will talk my presentation with the following contents. So the UNISEC Mongolia, established in February 2011, and it's include the 4 universities and 2 associations and 2 laboratories. So which are the National University of Mongolia and Mongolian University of Science and Technology and Mongolian University of Life Science and Mongolian National Defense University. In this picture, you can see the local chapters of each universities. And recently, the two associations were established, which are Mongolian Space Technology Association and Mongolian Aerospace Research and Science Association. So these organizations manage some activities related to the space science and engineering for the kids and students and amateurs. They established in 2018. So this slide shows the UNISEC Mongolia's timeline with the highlight years. So after UNISEC Mongolia established in 2011, space engineering, Mongolian space engineering sector is significantly developing in Mongolia. So it's and also I would it was a great start from the Kansat later training program in Japan. So in 2013, Mongolian first laboratory for nanosatellite development opened in 2013, and in 2015 we launched the Mongolian first satellite, which named Mazala. And also we opened the new space science master degree course at the National University of Mongolia. And in 2017, the first satellite, our first satellite launched in 2017. So recently, our after the projects, the space engineering specialists prepared well and during the project. So I will talk it in detail in following slides. So in the Kansat later training program, we started in 2011. The totally 7 participants were attended in this CLTP program in Japan, and after participated our students, and which are CLTP 2 from CLTP 4 participants, they organized a national training program for other university student engineering students, and we started the national training program in Mongolia from 2012. During the national training program, the participants tested the balloon and their missions, and also the first Kansat competitions organized from 2013 until 2015. And at the same time, in 2013, we opened the new laboratory for nanosatellite development. And during the opening ceremony, the Mongolian Prime Minister came and given us the speech to notice that it was the beginning of our Mongolian satellites into the space. So in Mongolia, we have 2 laboratories for who are teaching in space science and space engineering. One of the laboratory is NOMITC UNESCO for Space Science and Remote Sensing Laboratory. The head of the laboratory is Professor Solomon Grinching. This laboratory established on May 2003, and we had graduate curriculums for remote sensing and geographic information system. It was belonged until 2014, and since 2015 we opened a new master course on space science. And the number of alumni is 35 students we have, and two of them PhD students and 33 masters already, they got a master degree. Now currently there are 30 students in this laboratory. So the other one is recent, in 2013 was established. From 2018, the head of laboratory is Professor, Associate Professor Dr. Irtnotter. He was, after he completed his PhD degree, he returned to the National University of Mongolia, and he got this position, and he's working well now. The UNISEC Mongolia's challenge is to build capacity building for CubeSat and the microsatellite development. So the government implementation plan of launching a small CubeSat was the early stage in 2015. Since most of the universities are in Mongolia, they lack experience and need to be more specialists in the field and for developing cube and nano and microsatellites. And collaboration and cooperation in teaching and training and space science education is really important in Mongolia. So according to this challenge, then we started the project Mongolian Japanese higher engineering education development project from 2015 to 2023. And we have a cooperation with the 3 universities in Japan. And our project name was Space Engineering and Application. The coordinator of this project was the Professor Solomon from 2015 to 2018. And now Professor Irtnotter is the coordinator of this project, and this project is still going on until 2023. So this project objectives are the first to enhance of microelectronics and computer science research level in Mongolia through the space engineering and application, and to develop a space engineering and Mongolian space program, and to make a Mongolian CubeSat and build a ground station and to build the human resources. So under this project, now we in Mongolia, we have 2 PhD students from MGIT project, 3 PhD students from other program. They finished their PhD in space engineering, and also 1 master student. And so from them, 5 of them is working on now is working at the National University of Mongolia. 3 of them are lecturer in nanosatellite development in laboratory at the National University of Mongolia. Under the MGIT project, the BIRDS project became as part of this project since September 2015. It started when the Professor Mengu Cho visited to the National University of Mongolia, and then we started our project in 2015 until. And we worked successfully done with this project in 2017.
NG, we have to wrap up.
Sorry, okay. Okay, here's the first our satellite timeline. And under this project, we built the ground station, and then we received the information from the other birds' satellites. Okay, this slide shows the INSEC Mongolia members meeting at the at the NOM, and due to COVID situation, we didn't organize the meeting yet. But we will organize the online meeting. So here's the one of our member, Basendorch, from Mongolian University of Science and Technology. He tests plasma actuator. I will show you the video. So it is electrical devices that generate the wall-bound jet without the use of any moving parts. And for our aerodynamic applications, they can be used as a flow control devices to delay separation and augment lift on the wing. And since April 2021, they started activities on this field and could obtain the plasma. So our students participated in the summer camp of the APSCO Students Small Satellite Project. And also we organized the Women in Science for International Women's Day, the series online courses. And recently the Nanosatellite Development Laboratory was held a business meeting on meeting in 2019, which is the second anniversary of the launch of the Mazala, our first satellite. And we named our next mission the Timudel. It is a small satellite for scientific research and technology testing. It will be the first satellite built in the homeland by Mongolian engineers and researchers and scientists. Our team include the alumni from Kyushu Institute of Technology and the students who participated the APSCO Small Satellite Students Project summer school. So, and we organize the meeting every month with our team, and this slide shows the preliminary design review, and we held in 2019. And so another activity is CONSAT national competition was stopped in 2015, but we reactivated in 2020. And so in this activity, there was 12 teams from the 9 universities and 15 teams from 3 amateur clubs attended. So during the national training program, the one of master students given the training courses, the personal his personal experience of the previous CONSAT competitions. And other activities, due to COVID pandemic, we have many online activities held by TV, also on podcast. And Professor Solomon was attended the podcast and international virtual conference, and she given the lecture and speech about space science and engineering applications and current situation of Mongolia. And also National University of Mongolia's team recently discussed about the space science and technology development and future possibilities with the Prime Minister of Mongolia.
Engi, we have to wrap up.
Okay, I will quickly finish. So our plan was to build a CubeSat satellite when we started UNISEC Mongolia. Now we will expect the next level, which is micro satellites. And here's the benefits of micro and nano satellites. And so in overall, the Mongolian satellite development and the space science related research works will be improved systematically. And in particular, the nanosatellites will be developed and reinvented for space applications at our university and our researchers, and graduate students will be actively support the Mongolian national satellite project and become more specialized on this field. So that's all. And thank you so much for your time and attention. I'm sorry for the...
Engi, thank you for your update from Mongolia. Ray, you have the floor now.
Okay. Yeah. Please stop sharing.
Yeah, Engi, can you take down your slide?
Yeah, I will. Okay.
Okay, so I have 5 minutes. Thank you very much. A very nice presentation from Egypt and Mongolia. I still remember when I visited Mongolia and Egypt 10 years ago, and I met Tomon, and I met, I didn't met the Professor Carrillo, but I think we started everything from them. So it's very, very interesting and very, very nice to hear how you guys have been working for 10 years. It's very, very nice and encouraging me. Okay, so let me announce new local chapter. This month we do not have new local chapters, but we always open to anybody. Okay, so university members. Okay, so I think I should call the Salish, Shirash, is there?
Yes.
Okay, can you introduce this your university?
My name is Siraj Sayed. My university is Purvanchal University, and Kobo Engineering College is where I studied.
Okay. What's the name of professor?
Yogesh Bajracharya.
Okay, it's very difficult for me to pronounce. Thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much, Shirash, and welcome to UNISEC Global. And I hope that you will be attending this meeting next time too. Okay, so now we have 21 local chapters and 188 university members and 7 corporate members. And well, you already met NG-san, but Professor Tomon Renjing will remain as co-POC to help and support her. And UNISEC Mongolia has a new point of contact. The next virtual meeting will July 17th, the third, the Saturday, and at the same time. And theme, Space Agency Education Rating. Today we discussed about space agencies education. The next time we would like to discuss about rating. So I hope you will be coming back again. 7th Mission Idea Contest abstract due is July 7th. So please encourage the potential applicants to register now, and also the free online lectures are available. We provide 5 different lectures, and there are many hints in that. And the final presentation will be November 13th, which will be organized in hybrid way. The venue is Tokyo, Japan. The October 16th, we will invite Professor Kellogg. He's the quite famous professor and the Nobel Prize winner. And future planning, well, I do not have time, so please read that. And I hope that we will have more the opportunities to provide, hopefully in person, but if it is difficult, the virtually. And please let us know your event information if you have any. Okay, so let me finish this. Okay, so I have 1 more minute. If you have any announcement, please raise your hand. No announcement? Are you sure? Okay. If not, are you sure? Okay. So, but let me introduce Abhas. The Abhas is working. Abhas, can you turn on your video? Abhas is working for making a report each time of this meeting. Thank you very much for your contribution. It's very, I know it's quite difficult, but I think your work is very good, and I am so satisfied with your efficiency and effectiveness. Thank you very much. Okay. And who else? Ganapathy, you are there? Hello, Ganapathy.
I'm here.
Okay, so he's an Indian point of contact. So can you do you want to say something?
I'm happy to join here today because this is my long pending. I have been trying to join, but somehow I'm not able to join in between for many of the meetings. This is the first time I'm joining for this UNISEC meeting. So I'm so happy to join this current meeting. And I thought, like, the one thing I would like to share is like in forthcoming meeting, I'll be able to actively participate. I'm sure, like, the other partner from Gopal Krishnan, Dr. Gopal Krishnan might be given the more detail on this activities, whatever India is doing currently. But I think he is not able to join today. Tuesday, he's not able to join. He's not able to join. Okay. So
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. The other anybody who wants to make some announcement or share something? Okay, Lawrence, please unmute.
Yep. May I share my screen for just a moment? Oh,
yeah, sure. Okay, but it's time for John. So if you are busy, please go. But if you have 5 more minutes, please.
Oh, I just wanted to show a photo from our first Canadian CanSat competition.
Okay.
We completed that just over a week ago. It's a trial offering.
Go ahead and put it. Go ahead and put it up.
Oh, okay. There.
Wow.
We deployed the CanSats out of a helicopter because we were not able to hold it in person. They were only recording data on board. And yes, that's me looking very afraid, looking out the side of the helicopter as I throw these CanSats out. It was quite successful. All of the teams were excellent during the time of the pandemic and the difficulties they faced, and we look forward to being able to continue this in future in Canada. So we're now starting a CanSat competition like many other countries.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so it's time. So yeah, we are looking for the local chapter who wants to share your experience next month. Please email to me if you are interested in it. And if you are not a local chapter yet, just feel free to contact me. Okay, so thank you very much for you know, this is really, I really hate this timing, this time to say goodbye. You know, I'm really bad to say goodbye, but I need to say today yet. But the one good news is that we'll have another meeting next month. So I need to say goodbye and see you next month. Thank you for your participation and the discussion. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love you all. Thank you.